Hello, everybody. Can we hear me? Am I being heard? Founder of the world, Timmy Zittle.
Heard you.
Welcome everybody back to center ice this week. A little bit of technical issues, false start, 5-yard penalty against the offense to start the show, but we got it on track here and we're ready to go. We got an ETBU legend here in the house tonight. Legend at hockey, legend at lacrosse, and hands down one of my favorite teammates I've ever played with, Timmy Zittle. Tim, how are you doing this fine Valentine's Day evening?
I am great. I had the day off of work today. Got to relax with my pup. That's all I needed.
Man, and you hit the starting faces too. I just noticed that little.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man, I love that. I love that. Well, before we get into things, man, like I always say, make sure you're checking out. Look at this ticker down at the bottom down here, guys. Make sure you're checking out all our other shows that we have here on this network. So many good people, so much good information, and so many guys that are just so passionate about what they're talking about. You guys need to tune in, check these guys out because they're busting their ass each and every week. That being said, Tim, let's get into it. Love is in the air today, man. And I just spread some love. So how are you feeling today on Valentine's Day? I know you said you
Oh,
had the day off, played with your pup. Anything else happened today?
not much. Made sure all the gifts I got from my girlfriend were all together. And now I'm just ready, waiting for her to get home.
There you go, man. That's how you got to do it. That's how you got to do it. Well, let's jump head first into this, why don't we? But before we do, let's give a shout out real quick to Wardlord Beard Oil. Go to wardlordbeardoil.com. Use OCS15 for 15% off your next order. Make sure you're looking good for your ladies this Valentine's. Make sure the beard looks nice. It's trimmed up. It's oiled perfectly, and that shine from that light's hitting perfectly, making those pictures even better and getting you out of those pictures even faster. Starting things off, Tim. The NHL is going back to the Olympics. How exciting!
I cannot wait.
So 2026 and 2030 confirmed we'll have NHL players on the rosters for these international competitions. So I guess the question on everybody's mind, you're very deep into hockey. You're very much through and through a hockey guy since I've known you. How big is this for the game of hockey as far as like growing it?
I think it's huge. Um, I was reading something earlier that someone was saying that NHL players shouldn't be in the Olympics because that the Olympics are for the amateur players and all this other stuff. But I personally think it's just so much more competitive. Like everyone gets into it more when it's the NHL players.
Yeah, I find that it's more of the name recognition. Like people, they watch the games and they look for names that they notice. So, like, even if you're a casual fan, like, say you watch the Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Jason Kelce, even all these names were bouncing around. And it's a little bit easier for, like, the casual fan to kind of follow along and be like, okay, this is a guy. That's a guy. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, that
I
makes
f-
plenty of sense.
yeah. And I feel like that, having guys like Nathan McKinnon, Connor McDavid, Sidney Crosby, all on the same team. One, that's going to make Canada happy, especially after the World Juniors. And
Yeah,
two, like people are going to be able to see these guys on full display because some people aren't necessarily able to. You know what I mean? So the fact that these are going to be internationally televised as well as nationally televised is just huge for the game of hockey, and I think it's a step in the right direction. To kind of build on that, did you see this thing about this in-season tournament that they're planning in the NHL?
yes. I the first thing that came to mind was like the NHL is trying to be like the NBA.
Mhm.
How the NBA is doing those in-season tournaments. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, yeah, but it's going to be international play, which I feel like that's where the NBA kind of wavered a little bit with that because an
Yeah,
in-season tournament with an in-season champion just sounds weird.
yeah.
Like,
I did not
like
like
the
the sound of
Lakers and
that.
LeBron are the in-season champions. What? Do you get a banner for that?
What?
No, you get a commemorative coin is what you get. You don't get a banner or anything like that.
Could
You
you,
just
could
get
you
a
imagine
coin.
we had that in NA3?
Oh my god, yeah, check it out, not last. It's just Killer's quote that he texted us after we did finish second to last
Oh,
place. What
that's
an unreal
hilarious.
season. Um, but yeah, it's kind of in like the growing stages, this in-season tournament. It's only gonna be 4 teams. It's USA, Canada, Finland, and Sweden. I feel like that's a great starting point because the NHL is loaded with guys from all around those countries. But you're starting to see Germany creep in. You're starting to see, yeah, there he is, Victor Hedman, big Swede guy. Starting to see Czech creep in a lot. You got guys like David Pastrnak, and the list goes on. Obviously, just name one guy. Um, how exciting, man! How exciting! It's best on best in the middle of the hockey season. Something to get, I
I
think,
I
thing too to like get the fans ramped up for the Olympics.
I think that means they're not doing the All-Star game
That would be
because I
awesome.
think I think that's what they're doing to replace it is this in-season tournament. I
Hmm.
mean that I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that.
Right, right,
But
right. But if they did do that, do you think that would like make guys feel some type of way? Because I'll tell you my take on the All Star game after you say.
I personally I think it'd be good because the All-Star game to me I feel like they just don't care like they used to.
Mm-mm. No,
I feel like it's just a little throw. They don't really care about it
it's stick and float.
as as it's when it was like when I was like growing up, like 5, 6 years old, like they were taking it seriously.
Yeah, 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 definitely. No, I definitely agree. I was saying that, for the All-Star game, instead of making the guys go out there and do this goofy skills competition, fantasy draft, this whole hullabaloo, I understand the pomp and circumstances necessary. But I'm saying, like, what if we just give the guys that were elected as All-Stars a bonus? And if you were elected a captain, you get a higher bonus. And then everybody just gets a vacation unless you're doing this in-season tournament.
That's what I feel like most of those, like Nikita Kucherov, for example, everyone was hating on him for not trying, but I mean, hey, he gets to see like his whole team gets off, and he has to play.
So that was actually kind of a controversial topic last week. I got to ask you now, since you're just joining the show, do you think Cooch should be taken out of the MVP conversation because of his performance at the All-Star game?
No,
That was a
I
question
feel like
posed last week. I just got to give it a fair shake.
I feel like that shouldn't even be a question.
Some people think it's a question, man. Some people think it's a
I mean,
question.
everybody has their own opinion, I guess.
Oh yeah, hey. Look, hey, before we move any further, man, Fanatics, give a quick shout out to Fanatics. Link will be in the description of this episode, guys. Make sure you click on that. Make sure you're getting all your jerseys. Timmy's got his Victor Hedman jersey, his New York Rangers reverse retro. I'm sitting back here with a Steve Yzerman jersey. Make sure you're decked out because the playoffs are coming. All right? So make sure you're ready to go to war with your team. Make sure you got your battle colors and your war cry because we're going to war. Playoffs are coming.
My roommates absolutely hated me last year during
Really?
playoff time. Yeah, because I had a big JBL speaker,
Yeah.
and every time the Rangers scored, the goal horn went off.
Man. Yeah, I'd want to beat your ass too.
Yeah.
Moving on down though, I guess up though, because we're in Texas and they're in Canada. But Morgan Reilly, he's taking a 5-game stussy. What do you think about that? What did you think of the whole play and how everything happened? And how much would you have given him as far as suspension goes?
I would have said I would have gave him 3 games, but I'm one of those guys that I would have done the same thing he did, if not worse. Like if
Okay.
you're gonna take a slap shot from 2 feet, an empty net, like I'm like everyone says like there's a code in hockey, like we know that.
Yeah.
But other people, when I was reading up on it, they're like, "Oh, you guys in your code, like you guys are so soft, like you guys shouldn't even do that." I was like, "Hey, there's a code. If you don't
So we're
understand the
just
code,
supposed to let guys rip slap shots into our empty nets to shove it up our ass even harder. And we're not
yep,
supposed to like draw a hard line like Toby Keith says and send a message at least, go down
yeah."
swinging, man.
Well, I mean, I would, like I said, I would have done the same exact thing.
Oh, absolutely. I would have done the exact same thing.
Yeah,
And here's the thing. I agree 100% that it should have been 3 games because this is
yeah,
Morgan Reilly, man. Like he's not the type of guy that's always in mess. He's pretty much kept his nose clean. I'm not the biggest fan of the guy. I think he's a great hockey player. I don't think he's as good as people say, but that doesn't mean I fucking hate him.
yeah.
And I thought what he did was justified, and like some of the players are saying, I don't even think he meant to cross check him in the head, but it happened. So for me, if I'm the Department of Player Safety, I got to look at the fact of, okay, this is the Battle of Ontario, right? Yep, Battle of Ontario, Ottawa
Yeah,
and
from
Toronto.
Ontario.
Battle of Ontario. This is a historic, heated rivalry. It was an emotional game. And this guy pimps a slap shot into the empty net. Are you kidding
Oh,
me?
I would have lost it. Lost
I
it.
would have lost it, dude. I would have
I
been
would have
trying to
jumped. I
rip
would have jumped from the bench.
I would have been trying to like rip his ear, like his head in half by his ears. Like I would have lost it. Okay. So, and the thing for Ridly Greig, I don't even know if I said it right, but you have to know something's coming if you're doing that, you know?
Oh yeah. I mean, like so when he turned and he like you could see in his face that he saw Morgan Riley coming
Oh
after him,
yeah. Oh yeah.
and like you saw in his face, but like I wouldn't like if I did that, I know someone's coming after me.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, even dude, beer league, mites, pee-wee, squirts, midgets, juniors, professional,
Yep.
doesn't matter what level. Someone's coming after you if you do that shit. Like you
Uh,
can't pimp a slap shot in the middle of a rivalry game. Into the
oh
empty net, dude. Fuck yeah, I'm ripping your head off. Get the fuck out of here. So I agree with that. I thought 3 games, but I feel like people saying that it's soft that he went after him. I think it's soft that he's getting 5 games.
yep. I talked to my dad about it, and my dad's the same way as me. You know, I was one of those guys in juniors that would go out there and look for something every game.
Yeah. No, hey, I've played with you. I know. I played on a
Yeah.
line with you. I've roomed with you. I know how you are. Oh yeah. Hey,
Little John
Timmy
Cena coming
Fiddle
at me.
and grit definitely belong in the same sentence. I can tell y'all that. But it's just like I don't know, man. I feel like 5 games is way too long for what happened. Because again, like I said,
Yeah.
it's Morgan Riley. When does Morgan Riley ever get into shit like this? And it's honestly kind of justified. I understand you
I
can't
mean,
cross-check people in the head. Let me make that clear for all the listeners. You can do it. It's just very frowned upon. But given the circumstances, I feel like, yeah, no, you can go after that guy. Like if he okay, so let's say if he didn't cross-check him and he just punched him in the face instead. Like he skated him down and he just fucking socked him. Would we still be talking like, oh, you guys are soft or no?
I don't know. I think with like today's age in hockey, I think people will still bring up the whole that was just like that's soft with him.
Wow. 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 What a crazy time to be a hockey fan, but an exciting time. You know why it's an exciting time? You know why it's thrilling to be an NHL fan?
Oh, my favorite, one of my favorites.
Oh, before I tell you though, Timmy, before I tell you, I know I got you all riled up, but before I tell you, man, have you eaten today?
I have not actually.
You haven't? Oh, dude, perfect. Because you can go to righteousfelon.com and use our promo code and get 15% off of your next beef jerky order, Timmy. You need a little bit of
Oh,
protein in the body, a little bit of fuel,
oh,
man, something to hold you over until you get to that next meal. Call up Righteous Felon. Okay, use our code OCSN for 15% off, man, and you'll be sitting right, sitting pretty, nibbling on some beef jerky of all kind of different flavors, man. All kind of different flavors. They're all delicious. You can't go wrong. Choose one and just be on cloud 9. That's all I can tell you guys. Timmy, especially you, since you haven't eaten today, just pick a flavor and go about your business, and
I
you won't
could,
be
I could,
disappointed.
I could definitely fuck up some beef jerky right
Yeah,
now.
see, there you go, right there. There's your new slogan. But yeah, to get back what we were talking about, thrilling times in the NHL. Thrilling times. And you know why? Because Phil the Thrill's name is being tossed around heavily. Tossed around heavily, especially in Western Canada. Sorry, Edmonton fans, but we're talking about the Vancouver Canucks. So
Canucks taking it all now.
So how I start my day, I always go on ESPN, just check out the headlines for the day, see what's going on in the sports world, and then I go about my business. First headline, as soon as I open up ESPN, Phil Kessel's practicing in Abbotsford. So he's practicing with the Canucks AHL team right now. He's skating around, buzzing, still doing Phil the Thrill things, having a great time. And it's obviously it's rumored that the Canucks are looking at him if he's skating with the AHL team. But it was officially reported that the Canucks are actually looking at them. And at first glance, it's kind of like, why? You know, what do the Canucks see in Phil Kessel that they can add to this team to make them, to kind of push them over the top? But at the same time, you look at their personnel that they have, and they got 2 guys that were huge factors in the back-to-back cups in Pittsburgh that Phil Kessel was a part of. They have Jim Rutherford out in Vancouver, and now Rick Tockett's the head coach. And they both love Phil Kessel. They both love Phil Kessel, which Timmy just said. How could you not? So, Timmy, can you kind of tell us what you think they're possibly seeing in Phil Kessel that they might want to bring him in at this time?
I mean, I absolutely love Phil Kessel. I just like how he's a big guy. Everybody absolutely shits on him for his weight. But what he has, like, what, 3 cups? I think 3, 4 cups.
He's got 3, yeah. 1 with
3
Vegas,
cups.
2 with Pittsburgh.
Like he's doing something. He has his secret sauce.
He does. He does. I mean, he looks out of shape, but he skates like the wind.
Yeah, and his shot is absolutely amazing.
It's a rocket. I mean, it's the perfect shot. Like, I
Yeah.
love Austin Matthews, but Phil Kessel has the perfect shot.
Oh, 100%. All day. But, I mean, I could see. I don't know. I think Phil Kessel's a huge locker room presence.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He has. He's a veteran. Guys look up to him. I mean, he's probably not going to play as much, just like with Vancouver. I mean, not with Vancouver, with the Golden Knights.
Yeah.
But I think he still, just him being in that locker room, him being on the ice with those guys will definitely help Vancouver.
I think so too, man. I feel like Vancouver's in like this weird gray area where it could go one way or the other as far as their like, future goes. And bringing in a guy like Phil, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head with it. I feel like he could kind of come in and help settle down the locker room at times, and just because Phil Kessel's probably the most unbothered player ever. I mean, he just does his thing. He worries about his next shift, and that's it. He doesn't like talking to the media. He doesn't like getting in people's business, and he doesn't like people in his business. He just wants to play hockey and play with his teammates.
And throw down some hot dogs.
Throw down some hot dogs, baby. And by all accounts, all his former teammates seem to love the guy. You love the guy. You never even fucking met him, but it's like he just seems like that type of person that he can kind of come in, be that calming veteran presence to kind of help the guys through these tough stretches, down the stretch especially, to get ready for playoffs because Vancouver's making the playoffs. It's just a matter of how much noise are they going to make. And adding a Phil Kessel along with an Elias Lindholm to kind of help bolster that top 6. You bring in a Phil Kessel to kind of play those third, fourth line minutes with guys like Dakota Joshua or bottom 6 guys. Playing bottom 6 with Phil Kessel. Think about that.
I would do that any day of the week.
Any day of the week. Any day of the week. You don't have to do anything special. Just do your job. And I think Phil Kessel is going to be perfect because he understands how Talk coaches. Talk understands how he is as a player. Rutherford understands how he is as a player. And they're not just going to bring this guy in without him understanding what his role is going to be. And I don't think he would just sign if he didn't understand like what I'm getting into. So I agree 100% with everything you just said. I think he's going to play less minutes, obviously. I still think he's going to be very productive. He may play probably on the power play. I would put him on that second power play, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely throw him on the power play.
Definitely throw him on the power play. Give him some extra minutes there. Help him kind of, steady that bottom 6 a little bit. Help steady the locker room. Help keep those young guys. Like, I don't know if JT Miller's necessarily considered a young guy, but, you got Elias Pettersson, Brock Besser. You got these guys that need that veteran presence because that's like really the one thing Vancouver's lacking is that, that guy that's been there and done it. And Phil Kessel, I think, is a perfect fit. Wow, what a breakdown by me. Pat on the back, Evan.
Yeah.
So now we'll move on to some depressing news, mostly for me because I'm a Wings fan and he did it against my team. But Connor McDavid kind of had a historic night. He recorded 6 assists, dude, in an 8-4 victory over the Detroit Red Wings.
I can't even do that in a beer league game.
I don't even think I've done it on Shell. I don't even think I've done that on Shell. Connor McDavid just proved that he's the best player in the world again. I've been having this take that a lot of people have been kind of giving me shit for. You probably going to give me shit for it, but I don't think he's the best player in the NHL this year. I think that
I don't think he is.
okay. I think my nomination goes to Nathan McKinnon. I feel like you're going to say
Oh
Kucherov, and I'm going to say Nathan McKinnon.
no, I give it to McKinnon every day of the week.
Really? Okay, good.
Oh yeah,
Good. The thing about McDavid is, man, like this is how I've been explaining it. I don't think McDavid's the best player. I think he's the most talented player. And I think McKinnon just does literally everything. Like he is the Colorado Avalanche.
Oh yeah.
McDavid's the Oilers, but like I don't know, man. Like they're literally just such a different team with McKinnon, quarterbacking a lot of this shit. Like you take McDavid out of the lineup, I feel like the Oilers could manage well enough in those waters with Draisaitl and Nugent Hopkins and Hyman and Kane and Ekholm and all these and Bouchard. I feel like they have enough there. And Chris Knobloch's an unbelievable coach. I think he's my pick for coach of the year. But neither here nor there. I think they have enough there to kind of help, keep the ship steady, keep the guys maintaining course and speed until he comes back. If McKinnon misses a game for the Avalanche, it's literally an avalanche. Like it all comes crumbling down. So I think if we're talking about MVP this year, the most valuable player to their team is Nathan McKinnon to the Colorado Avalanche. But again, neither here nor there. We're here to talk about Connor McDavid because, again, 6 assists in one night is just crazy. I'm pretty sure they were all primaries, which is even crazier.
I believe so.
I'm going to look
if I remember correctly.
I'm going to look right now. I didn't want to look at the box score too long because my team got their ass whipped. Nope. He had 3 secondaries, 3 primaries. So a good little split there.
Yeah, but that's
so really he only had 3 assists is what you guys are telling me.
Basically.
He only had 3 assists. Okay? If it didn't leave his tape and go to the goal scorer's fucking tape, it doesn't count.
Well, damn, I would lose a lot of points if that was the case.
Yeah, you would. Yeah. Definitely you would. So just a quick shout out, I guess, to Connor McDavid there. And then last little thing that I had here, Sean Couturier. Right before we went live, the news kind of broke. I say kind of. The news definitely broke. Sean Couturier was named the 20th captain in Flyers history. Timmy, I know you're an avid Rangers fan. So when it comes to teams like the Flyers or other teams in the Metro, you're a little standoffish. But what did you think about that decision, picking Couturier as the next captain for this team?
I was not gonna lie. I didn't even see that pop up yet for me.
Really?
So like
I'm tapped in, man. I told you I got sources,
to me.
Man. I got sources, bro.
I do think that's a great move. I do love him. I think he is a great player. I think he's gonna be a great leader for the Flyers as well.
I think so too, man. A lot of people on Twitter were calling for Konechny, obviously, to be the next leader of this team, and rightfully so. I'm a big fan of Travis Konechny in his own right, but something about Sean Couturier, man, like it's almost like Claude Giroux. Like he's always been there and he's always been reliable.
Yep.
I know Flyers fans tend to have a love-hate kind of relationship with Couturier, but I mean, you can't find a guy that's, despite his injuries and despite everything that's happened in his career, he's always brought it, man. Like he's always been a guy that coaches can rely on in the orange and black, whether it was Peter Laviolette, John Tortorella, Craig Berube, whoever was behind the bench, they could always say 14, get out there, and they know that they were going to get a solid shift out of that guy. And I like you said, I think he's going to be a great leader for this team. He's been there forever, and I think now they're stepping in the right direction, and they're going to start piecing things together a little bit more because they're already knocking on the door of a playoff spot. So I think Tortorella is going to kind of get them steadied, especially with the Carter Hart news, with that happening. You lose your starting goalie, but you got a captain now. You have a clear-cut leader of the group. And I think Sean Couturier is going to be able to say, hey, guys, I understand the noise that's happening around the team. Let's focus on the here and now. Let's get back to how we were playing, and let's get back on track. And I think they will. And now, last but not least, shout out to Sterling Pig Brewery. Once again, in the description, make sure you're showing love to them. Guys, it's freaking Valentine's Day. It's Valentine's Day, man. The day of love. Supposed to be spreading it, giving it out. Don't hold that in, man. Don't hold it in your heart. It's bad for you. It's bad for you, man. You got to share that out with people and say, hey, I love you. And that's what you guys need to do to sterlingpig.com right now. You need to go check all their beers out, man. And again, just like Righteous Felon, you can't go wrong with these guys, man. Literally add one of everything to cart. One of everything to cart, and you won't be disappointed. You can start with one thing, though. You can start with one thing, start slow. But I'm telling you, you're going to come back and get one of everything to the cart. You're going to check out, and you're going to enjoy what you like, because I enjoy this product. You're going to enjoy this product. So make sure, again, Day of Love, you're showing these guys some love because they bust their ass. We bust their ass, and we love them. Now, before we get out of here, Tim, I want to give another shout out again to all the shows on this network, man, down below right here on the ticker. Make sure you go and see them, man, especially Flyers Alley. If you guys want to hear more about the Couturier news, the Carter Hart news, anything surrounding the Flyers, make sure you tune in to Flyers Alley. Jesse does a great job with that show, and they absolutely nail it every single time. They got guys at games all the time, taking pictures, talking to players, getting all their information to tell you, the listener. So make sure you're dialed in. Ducks and Pucks, Unsportsmanlike Conduct, The Living Room Show, Complex, Check the Net. Make sure you're giving them all some love and spreading it out because we love them, and they're busted. Again, guys, they're working hard for you. Make sure you're working hard for them. Tim, it's been a pleasure and an honor, bro. It's good to get back with you, man. Get back in the lab, talk some puck. I know it's been a while, but it was a great time.
Oh, yeah, I loved it. This is so much fun.
Oh, yeah, dude. I appreciate you taking the time today, getting off work and coming and hang out with us. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Like I tell y'all every week from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate y'all making time on Wednesdays to come listen to us. And make sure that you're following us on Twitter at @centerice_OCSN. Follow me on Twitter at Grimbus024. You can give Timmy here a follow. Let me see. I'm pointing the wrong way. This way. There we go. You can give Timmy here a follow. Once his account is not suspended, we'll add him to the ticker and you'll be good to go.
I didn't even know it was suspended.
I went to send you the link to get on here, and it was just like, you can't send it. This account's suspended. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Knowing Timmy, that checks out. But again, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in this week. We will see you all next week right here where we drop the puck at center ice.